Deep Dive with David Stendhal, where we trade without ego, no emotion, no greed, and no opinion. Before we begin tonight's video blog, please read over our trading disclaimer and remember to trade smart and accept the reality that trading futures is risky. This presentation does not provide buy-sell recommendations, and our information is strictly provided for educational purposes only. As always, trade at your own risk and analysis.
Hey, it's David Stendhal with a special deep dive here. Today is June 15th, 2018, but it's the morning. It's a little after 10 o'clock, almost 10:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, and we recently got a low that occurred in soybeans with an EQ. EQ stands for earthquake, and so because it's such a dramatic day in the grains today, I want to point out a couple of things. First thing is that this alert, when it does trigger, especially on the day that it triggers, and if you can mid or early day, it's not a bad thing to really start taking a look at this particular indicator. I'm going to just take a step back, and I'm just going to show you some performance numbers for all of the different pro alerts, just real quick. You'd find this by going to signals and then pro alert performance, and then you can be presented with a big long list of all of the most of the pro alerts. And so we're talking about earthquake low. So this is a bullish indicator for the most part because the market has come to like a crescendo effect. That's really what the earthquake represents. A crescendo effect that the market has just moved too strong in one particular direction. It's going to have some type of a snapback, and that is what's taking place with soybeans right now. So here's soybeans, at least in this list. Right here is soybeans. And what this is it's looking at the performance based upon profit factor. Profit factor is the most simplistic risk-reward calculation you can ever come up with. Gross profit by gross loss. Just a quick little ratio between the two. If it's above 1, by the ratio, you're making money. If it's below 1, you're losing money. If it's above 1, depending upon how far above 1 you get, the better and the better the performance is for that particular system, or that particular alert in this case. In certain instances, the numbers can get extraordinarily high. You know, for gold, coffee, in this case RBOB, they're approaching 5 or at 5. Then you have to start questioning. That seems almost too good to be true, and for the most part, it means that there probably weren't enough trades. There's something odd has taken place where it's skewing it, but don't think that because the profit factor is at 5 that it is the best ever. It just simply means that it's probably too good to be true. It's probably more in the 1.5 to 2 range, but something recently under the conditions, and this goes back, I believe, about 6 years worth of trading, at least alerts, I should say, that we're looking at a condition that it's probably just been extraordinarily good, but over time it's going to come back to some form of normalcy. So bottom line is, as long as it's above 1, it's good. So here's a list of all the different markets. The lowest one is Japanese yen, and it's basically at 1. But soybeans, further up the list here, this one is approaching 2. That's very good. And so it's not a bad alert that when you have this crescendo effect, that the markets does an abrupt stop. And let me just pull up the alert here. You can see here is soybeans. It's come down. It's triggered this this alert here, obviously with the earthquake low. That's what this little plus sign represents. The 1334, that represents how strong. It's like the magnitude, if you will, for this earthquake. The higher the number, the more dramatic it is. And so what we want to do, if I can just pull up another chart here, same soybeans, but gives us a slightly different perspective. You can see that the market has certainly sold off. We're getting some signals as of late, the last couple of days, that the market had gotten to an extreme. But when you start getting that earthquake and this particular pattern right here, a potential doji, it generally means that the market's going to do a stop and reverse. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be like a V bottom where it comes down at this perfect angle and then reciprocates and starts to head up higher at a perfect angle. That's typically not what's going to take place. It's probably going to be kind of volatile as it's basing. Could go up and come back down. It can do all sorts of things, but it's probably going to go into some type of a near-term base. Why am I saying all this? Because the systems, as of, let me just update this, see if it's got more greater numbers here. So 1027, you can see that we have a really good profit here in soybeans, obviously in all of the grains. Here's corn, soybeans, and wheat, but specifically with soybeans, with the number of contracts, the normalization that's gone on, that there is opportunity here for some real good money to have been made. You can see that, and there's probably an opportunity here that for the discretionary traders, based upon the earthquake alert that has triggered today, you may want to take some profits here. We're going to stick with the systems. We always stick with the systems, but that's what these pro alerts, if I can pull this up here, that's what these pro alerts are there for, to tell you when, during the course of the day, that there might be opportunities to look at what the existing systems are doing. I realize that some people are going to want to follow the systems. That's what I want people to do. But given how we present the information and how quickly we can get the information out, we also know by logic that a lot of people are going to be discretionary oriented and dictate, how they're going to actually be trading the systems and taking advantage of them, using it within their own structure and how they go about trading. So this is why I try to present what the systems are doing, which they're short and they have not liquidated as of yet, but then there are other conditions, some other alerts that will tell you that this thing has probably gotten a little ahead of itself. The earthquake and the KS Keel sale has nothing triggered, but these two in particular will often occur at a crescendo point where the market has just gotten too far ahead of itself and it has started to fall apart. And when you get this type of condition, it's not a bad time to unwind at least a portion of the positions. That's what the earthquake, and if we had one triggered, the KS, the Keel sale alert would be dictating. So I want to at least point that out. And then the other thing is that something that I've just recently added, if you come to Signals Market Analysis on the website, what you're going to get is basically it's my Twitter feed, but because I put out so much information, some people know me through Twitter, some people do not. Some people don't have Twitter. So what I've done is I've added the Twitter feed to the site. So even if you don't have Twitter, you can still get the information because there's a wealth, there's a ton of information. So here was the alert that I put out there for the earthquake low that triggered a little while ago. I did this I guess 41 minutes ago. And what I want to be able to do is, one, let people know that don't know me through Twitter that this information is available. And I want to put out this video because there were so many things that are taking place that I thought it warranted it. So see what happens with the grain, soybeans in particular. Obviously, the same conditions have not triggered in corn, but the same environment is certainly out there for both corn and wheat as well. So use information as you see fit, and we will do another deep dive here fairly soon. Bye-bye.